welcome to our new series on ICICI Direct Platform, IPO Review. Joining me today is Mr. K. A. Joseph, Managing Director, SJS Enterprise, and Mr. Sanjay Thapar, Executive Director and CEO, SJS Enterprise. Welcome, Mr. Joseph and Mr. Thapar.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning. Let me give a brief about the company. SJS is one of the leading players in the Indian decorative aesthetic industry. The company is a design to deliver aesthetic solution provider with the ability to design, develop, and manufacture a diverse product portfolio for a wide range of customers, primarily in the automotive and consumer appliance industries. The IPO is entirely an offer for sale of shares aggregating up to rupees 800 crores. Issue opens on 1st of November 2021 and closes on 3rd of November 2021. Price band 531 to 542 rupees per share. Bid lot size is 27 shares and in multiples thereof. Mr. Joseph, my first question to you, tell us something about the business operations. I mean, it's a company which is in a different vertical. I mean, not many know about this.
Yes, we are in an exclusive space. So we are in the business of decorating products, so be it automobiles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, or consumer products. We provide the aesthetic sense to and the differentiator to all these products. So for example, in the two-wheeler space, every bike will look alike if you don't have the decorative colored decals around each of these bikes. I mean, it will just plain black or gray or silver, whatever it is. So we had that extra decoration and the aesthetic sense to these products. And of course, we have other products as well. We make the speedometer dials for most of these four-wheelers. And then we also have a branding products like 3D Lex. And we also have chrome-plated badges, aluminum badges, and then, of course, IMD, in-mold decoration, and in-mold labeling products. So all these products invariably enhances the aesthetic value of the product that we supply to. Sanjay, you can add some more to it.
So in addition to what Joe just said, we also are large players in the consumer appliance businesses. So we do overlays. So overlays are these printed parts that go onto a control panel of a washing machine or a refrigerator, where you control your wash cycle. So possibly you don't know that, but SJS is the brand behind all the leading brands in the two-wheeler, car, and the consumer appliance businesses. So we have a lot of products and a lot of technologies under one roof. And that's what gives us that great strength in the marketplace.
So it's great to know because nobody knew about all this. Tell us, what is the purpose of the issue, Mr. Thapar? Why is it that you are entering the market right now?
So we have a promoter group which comprises of Evergraph Capital, which is a private equity company. And, by the nature of private equity, at some point in time, they would like to monetize whatever investment they've done. So they entered SJS in 2015. And after 6 years, they would partly like to monetize and offload some shares to the in this OFS. And Joe also has been running this company for the past 35 years. So he also wants some monetization done for a part of his share. So he's offloading about 5%. But even after this OFS, they will still have close to about 50.3% in the company.
Mr. Joseph, if we talk about the business and the revenue mix that your company is into, what are your top clients like? Like, who are your top clients like? And what is the kind of revenue mix that you have in terms of your verticals and different segments?
Yeah, when it comes to verticals, we have about 70% of our business coming from the automotive sector. That includes two-wheelers and four-wheelers, and about 30% from the consumer electronic items like washing machines, refrigerators, and other household appliances. So that is how the revenue mix is. And out of the 70% of the business, about 50% comes again from the two-wheeler segment, and about 20% with the four-wheeler segment as of now.
So the customers, maybe the customers that we serve in two-wheelers, we virtually supply to all the leading names. So we supply to TVS Motors, we supply to Bajaj Auto, we supply to Honda Motorcycle two-wheeler company, we supply to Royal Enfield, In automotive, we are a true tier 2 supplier for passenger vehicles, that is cars and SUVs. So we make dials which we supply to all the instrument cluster manufacturing companies. So we are large suppliers to Visteon Corporation, which is one of the global leaders in cockpit electronics. We supply to Marelli, which is also a global company in India and overseas. We also have companies like JNS, who we supply to, and they supply, in fact, to vehicles like Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Kia, all the big names, Mahindra, Tata. So we have a lot of customers for the automotive. For the appliance businesses, we have all the marquee names with us. So Whirlpool Corporation is a large customer of ours. We supply to Panasonic, we supply to Samsung, we supply to Godrej, we supply to Liebherr. And we not only supply them here in India, we are global suppliers to Whirlpool, for example, across the world.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If we talk about the export part, I mean, your major revenues come from the domestic market, but exports have been growing consistently. Exports accounted to nearly 16% of the total sales of the company in FY21, which have grown from 9.8% in FY19. How do you plan to increase the company's geographical footprint and thereby increase exports, Mr. Thapar?
So we are already, Gitu, supplying to parts across the world. So our parts are very light and easy to ship. So we supply parts already to Latin America, North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, of course, India, and as far as Russia as well. So our products, thanks to our very close relationship with these global companies, we proved ourselves and earned their trust in terms of quality, cost, delivery. And we find that we are very competitive because all these global companies have an opportunity to buy across the world. So the very fact that we are on their global panel and our business is growing so strongly is testimony to the fact that our products are well accepted. So moving forward, we keep on adding new products to our portfolio. So we have the largest range of products in India, and all these products are with an eye to the requirements of our global overseas customers. The global market, CRISIL estimated, is close to about $2.7 billion. And so we are just at the cusp of addressing that market. So huge runway to grow. We've invested in a great plant in about 2 years ago. In 2018, we created a world-class plant in Bangalore with capacities with an eye to the global market. So moving forward, we will continue to grow this business, and that's going to be a big lever of growth for us.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Joseph, are you looking for inorganic growth as you are expanding in the different geographies? Your exports are going to increase, as Mr. Thapar said. So are you looking for inorganic growth? And if that is the case, any acquisitions that you plan to do in the near future?
We do have, we are definitely looking for inorganic opportunities. We would like to have a presence in North American market and also European and Asia Pacific as well. So we are looking around for, companies which can come into our, portfolios, but we are still in the, very inception stage for that. But going forward, of course, we have, as of now, sufficient amount of reserves, and we'll be generating sufficient amount of cash as well to go for these acquisitions in an organic way. Yeah.
So just to supplement what Joe just said, so we are, of course, globally focused and moving forward. This growth, as I said, is going to come from these products that we have. And we will look at acquisitions, but we are very mindful of the fact that we will not get into acquisitions which are not value accretive to our shareholders. So there are a lot of Indian companies which tried to acquire companies, could not match them. So here the advantage or the strategy that we have at SGS is that we have a great new product development and manufacturing capability here. As I said earlier, our products are light and easy to ship. So when we look at an acquisition, it would basically be adding new customers into these new geographies so that we have a local team there engaging very closely with the customer. A lot of back-end work will be done in India. This will be accretive to our margins. And also, we are going to be very careful that it doesn't, it's bite-sized. We are a zero debt company. We intend to stay that same way unless we have a humongous opportunity, which of course we will look at on a case-to-case basis.
So the company is a true example of Atmanirbhar Bharat, right?
Truly, that's the catchword we have, made in India for the world. In fact, that is the core theme that we have. And we pride ourselves on the fact that the range that we have, no other global company also has. It's a very fragmented market globally. And moving forward, we're going to capitalize on that. And that's why we said, let's meet the quality and delivery expectations of global customers, which we have. And that's the reason why this export business has grown from 10%, as you said, for SGS to about 17% this year.
Yes. Mr. Thapa, you just spoke about the new product development. The company has a strong focus on new product development. Do you have a specific R&D division or a team which works for product designing and development?
Absolutely. So we have 46 people in my company, very seasoned professionals who have nothing to do with day-to-day business. So they all are future focused on new product development. We have a complete set of equipment that is in our plant, earmarked only for new product development. And it is due to this laser sharp focus that we have that we've been able to create or launch so many new technology products. So in the last 3 years, 5 new technology products have been introduced and they are in mass production today. And that's a stupendous speed, which our customers appreciate very much.
Mr. Joseph, if we talk about the recent acquisition and the completion of the acquisition that you did, Exotec, you completed in April 5, 2021.
Yeah.
Are you planning to, integrate the other subsidiaries to and enhance opportunities?
The subsidiaries, I didn't understand that part of it because right now we have only one.
Okay.
The Exotec plant. Okay.
That so is complete.
Yeah, the Exotec acquisition is complete, and we would like to, integrate that with our main plant in terms of process efficiencies, buying efficiencies, and so going forward, we will definitely be able to, improve our margins in Exotec as well. So that's the strategy that we are working on, and the primary reason for acquisition is to enhance our product portfolio so that we could cross-sell our products across the customers we have, both for Exotec and for SJS as well. Sanjay, you could add some more to that.
Yeah, certainly. So basically it is, so all our customers, we have very long-standing relationship with our customers. All of them buy plastic chrome plated and painted parts. So it's a natural fit for us. So we have a technology now. Our customers are already buying these parts. So it's very easy for us to offer world-class plated products to them as well, not only in India, but also to customers overseas. So that cross-selling opportunity we are pursuing. And to the first part of your question, we are rolling out synergies within both these companies in terms of the established processes that we have. So SGS is a very profitable business thanks to the great operational efficiencies and the focus on profit generation that we have. So in terms of manufacturing companies, I think we are right on the top. One of the only companies that generates an EBITDA of close to about 30%. So that's so on a sales of 320 crores on a consolidated basis last year. Our EBITDA was about 29.22% consolidated between Exotec and SGS. Our PAT margins are also exceedingly good. So SGS on a standalone basis did about 18.98% of PAT. Exotec, blended with Exotec, our margins were still, PAT was still 16.24%. Very strong ROCEs, so 26.8% ROCE and 16.49% ROE. We generate a huge amount of free cash. So 67% of our EBITDA is converted to free cash. As I said, we are well invested for the future. We don't see any major capex in the near future. And that gives us that strength to leverage all these capabilities and grow the Exotec business along with what we have at SGS.
Mr. Thapa, we all know that COVID-19 had a great impact on businesses across the sector. And if we talk about SJS, it has beautifully come out of this, crisis that we had. So is your business back to the pre-COVID levels? And what is the kind of growth that you foresee for your company in, say, next 4 to 5 years? Where do you see a company in next 4 to 5 years?
Gitu, I'm forbidden by my merchant bankers to make any forward-looking statement, but I can talk about the past to give you an idea of what the future is going to be. So last year was a case in point where we outperformed the industry tremendously. So the auto and the appliance businesses came down by about 12-13% in terms of volume terms. but SGS sales last year at the peak of pandemic grew by 16.5%. So that I think is a great testimony to the fact that what is the dividends that these new products are paying for us. So what's happening really is this, that thanks to these new products, we are selling more content to these appliances or to the vehicles that we serve. So even though the volumes at the OEMs are impacted, our sales continue to grow because we sell more parts to the same product. So that's what's the secret sauce that we have at SGS, which has led to this significant outperformance of the market. And moving forward, so even with this COVID now, so the Q1 was a little impacted because the plants in India were shut down, state governments closed down those plants. But in Q2, we've come back with a bang. So we are tracking on record. So there is no impact or very minimal impact to our sales. So moving forward, we hope this trajectory will continue. We are well poised, and the growth in the export markets will be even more greater. So that's a good outlook for the future.
Mr. Joseph, one last question for you. I mean, your exposure to two-wheeler is on a higher side. Do you see that as a risk to your business, or that is a strength?
No. If you look at our financials, over the last 3 years, our dependency on two-wheelers have come down consistently. Now, going forward this year, I think we will drop to about 52 to 53% of our overall business. So I think in the future, maybe a couple of years, probably we'll have two-wheelers making around maybe 40% of our overall business. So
just to add, that will be on a much higher sales volume, right?
Volume,
yes, other businesses,
absolutely, yeah.
Two-wheeler continues to grow, but the other business will grow even faster because we have some new generation products that we've launched, which are very well accepted in the market.
So which is a segment where you see a growth for your company in the future? Mr. Thapa?
Exports, for one, as I said, is poised to grow very, very strongly. So all our global accounts are growing very rapidly. We have the products which meet the requirements of the global markets. We have a lot of requirement for the car and the SUV segment also, because we've introduced some products like optical plastic parts, which are necessary for all the navigation screens and the display screens that you have in the cars. These are increasing at a rapid pace. So relatively, our car business and our appliance business will grow much faster than the two-wheeler business. And that's what Joe meant when he said that two-wheelers will comprise just 40% of our sales. They continue to be profitable. They will continue to grow, but the other businesses will grow much faster.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Thapa, for your time, and wish you all the best for SGS IPO.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.